because how much time we have is what we do with this life that we got. So togetherness in time, what are you doing with the time that you have? How do you structure your time? There's a strategy, and I'll give it to you real quick because I'm going to wrap this thing on up. Time management is a strategy I teach. It's called MSOX, MSOX. What are the things you must do every day? What are the things that you can outsource? You can delegate to somebody else. What are some things that MSOX you can, no, MSOX, what are some things you must do every day? What are some things that you should do every day, but if you don't do it, it doesn't have a big it's not going to be a huge negative effect to you, right? What is the things you should outsource every day? And then X, what are some things you just got to cross out every day? So you can manage your time, and if you do these things before you go to bed at night, you will save yourself about 15 minutes in the morning because you already know you prepare. And sometimes it's even more when you look at the stats. What are some things you must do every day? What are some things you should do every day? What are some things you can outsource? And then what are some things you can just X out and say, that's a great idea. I really want to do it, but I actually can't get to it today. And then the last one is yes. And togetherness, right? How can two walk unless they agree? Who are you in agreement with? What are you in agreements with? There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of things that's out here in the world. There's a lot of knowledge these days. What are you in agreement with? What is resonating with your spirit? Who are you walking together with? And then the last one is the yes. Yes. The dirty yes. Overcoming the dirty yes. Brene Brown is a renowned speaker and educator in the educational world. Some of you may know her. I heard about her, but she talked about the dirty yes, and I put my own spin onto it. Yes is affirmative or agreement, right, with something. But overcoming the dirty yes means stop telling everybody else yes while you keep saying no to yourself. Stop saying yes to everybody else and you keep saying no to yourself. I'm talking about overcoming the dirty yes. This is how we can practically become pretty healed. Who are the people in your lives? What are the things that they say to you and encourage you to do or not do? How do you see yourself again when things happen? You got to look again. Sometimes you got to really look again at yourself and say, you know what? I am who God has told me to be. One of the things that I start doing every morning is I get up in the mirror and I encourage you guys to do this. Write down 3 to 5 affirmations for yourself. Say that in the morning. Take it like a vitamin. Say it 3 times a day. Say it in the morning. Look straight at yourself because I can see the comments, but all I'm seeing is me. Right? My face. So you say these affirmations to you, positive affirmation every day to yourself. In the morning when you wake up, you can do it in the afternoon or the evening, get your phone and cut your camera on. And then at night before you go to bed, you got to affirm yourself. You got to affirm yourself before we can, go run and look to other people. We got to affirm who God has called us to be. And I'll share this last thing with you ladies, and then I will invite Tamika back to the stage. I was listening to a message today and I said, yes, Lord. Being a woman of faith, being a woman, a believer of this good book called the Bible, she talked about being anointed. You're not just anointed for right now. You're not just anointed for what happened to you last year or 10 years ago or last week, but you are anointed for what's to come. Keep doing the work on yourself. Keep aligning yourself with the right people. Become pretty healed. And you're going to get everything that you need. The H, and this is just a couple bonuses for you, is ask for help when you need it. E is the encourage yourself. A is know that you are anointed. And L is love, 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 but love yourself most. I love you guys tonight. Be blessed in Jesus' name. Tamika, I thank you so much for the opportunity to come on and share with you ladies tonight. And so God bless you ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, 7A. Listen, I want this to go on forever. Every time I hear you speak, I'm just like, I'm just gonna sit back, I'm observing, I'm just soaking it all in. You are feeding me. It's that whole thing of we're pouring so much life into others, and we have to make sure that we're pouring life back. We're allowing life to be poured back into us. And that's exactly what you do every time I hear your voice. And I just thank you for showing up. I appreciate you for being here. I thank you for pouring out your message and how God has given it to you to give to us tonight. I just appreciate you. I love you. And I'm just excited that you're here. So thank you. Make sure, as a matter of fact, hold on, before I say make sure, how can everyone find you and connect with you and stay connected with you and work more towards becoming pretty healed? Okay.
So, guys, I love you, Tamika. Thank you so much. So you can go to Simone Walden. You see my name right here, SimoneWalden.com. And you can find, you type in Simone on any of the social media platforms, it's Simone Walden. So you can find me there. On TikTok, it's Simone Speaks. But just go look for me and then connect with me.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I'm adding it here to the screen so that you all can see it. SimoneWalden.com and Simone Walden across all platforms. Simone Walden is Simone Walden. Y'all Google her, okay?
Right.
So I'm excited. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Simone, my sister. I appreciate you. I love you.
You
And I look forward to connecting and doing more. Like we're just getting started with this thing. We're just getting started. I'm excited. So thank you. I appreciate you. Make sure you all go and connect with Simone. Go connect. She's a gem. Okay.
love you.
Bye. Love you too. Awesome. 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 Listen, if y'all didn't get fed with that presentation right there, with the, I don't even want to call it a presentation. I'm gonna call it a pastor, a sermon. As a matter of fact, I need to pass a collection plate, okay? Because she dropped some good gems upon us that is going to allow us to really move forward in our lives. If you didn't get a chance to write down each of the acronyms of the word pretty, go back through the notes here. I think I can call them out pretty quickly. I think Latasha, you did a good job of it, but just go back through the slides, or either just catch the replay because she's right at the beginning, so you won't have to go too far to tune in. So what are we going to do right now? We're going to have our lively panel hosted by Miss Ivory Claire. Absolutely hosted by Miss Ivory Claire. We have Alicia Silv. Where's Alicia? Here she is. Like I'm trying to see y'all. I'm trying to see. Oh, look at y'all. Y'all so pretty. All right, so let me get this set up here real quick. All right, so Ivory, she's leading our panel tonight on My Mental Wellness Matters, which is all about therapy for the soul. Okay. It's in your hands, Ivory. It's on you, ma'am.
Hey, listen. Miss Tamika, this so far, let me tell you, so far, I'm sitting in there, I'm trying to look at my notes, I'm trying to listen in because the self-care, I'm writing notes, everything has been just beautiful, and I am online. It is so important. It is so important. It's so important. So again, I am Ivory Claire. Thank y'all for joining. Y'all make sure y'all chatting in the comments, y'all sharing it and everything. Okay. My mental wellness matters. Okay. That's the topic of today. But before we get started, Miss Tamika, for those who just tuning in, let us know everybody about Miss Tamika Chapman.
Awesome. I'm Tamika Chapman. I'm the founder of EnergizeHer, which is all about helping to normalize the conversation of mental wellness for women of color and Gen Z girls of color as well. We have the Energizer Village for Girls, which is where we provide resources, tips, tools, exciting workshops and trainings that's going to help them be motivated and help them, build up their confidence, build up the courage to stand up and be exactly who they were designed to be. So I'm excited to be here. I thank you so much.
Thank you. And Miss Alicia, please tell everybody who you are.
Well, hello, Miss Ivory. It is finally nice to put a face with a name. Nice to meet you. I am Alicia Silv, everyone. So I am the CEO of Cantrell Consulting, which is a multimedia publishing firm. I don't want to forget to mention, I'm super excited that I am a boy mom. Whoop, whoop. Yes. So he's 9 months. He makes a year in August. This year has gone by really, really fast, but I am super excited about my journey as a new mom. And yeah, that's me.
You know what? Congratulations.
It's starting already.
Welcome to motherhood. Welcome to motherhood.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we're going to talk about mental health and mental wellness. And from the ladies earlier, we talked about, how it's important to take care of us, to take care of us
Mm-hmm.
to that point, and being self-aware, and knowing when you're overwhelmed and when you're depressed, because, we wear so many masks.
Right.
We will
Right.
fake it till we make it. So we wear so many masks, and we would cover it up with a smile, and we would stay busy. We would stay
Mm-hmm.
busy. So, do you think as a community that we don't take mental wellness seriously, Miss Alicia?
So,
Hey, Alex.
I'm not gonna say that I have always been interested in going to therapy or even that it was talked about much coming up. But I think that the more that people become aware of mental health, and that is not just you telling all your business, but like Simone said, becoming pretty healed. Once people become aware of that, that they are more apt to wanting to seek out mental health.
Okay, okay, thank you. And for everybody, Tamika had to step off, but is this gonna be me and you, Miss Alicia? This
We're
girl
gonna
talk.
get it going.
We're gonna keep it rolling. Okay, so mental. I mean, self care is just not about like they said earlier, like getting your nails done, but really
Hmm.
taking care of yourself. Um,
Right.
so um, why do you think that we take so much on, like as women we just take on so much, just like the lady said before, we say yes to every single thing, and then
Hmm.
we turn around and then we get upset when when we got so much on our plate, when we get
Right.
so why do you think we get upset when we take so much on?
I think from seeing it early on, mom taking a lot, grandmother taking a lot, and that just really and truly passing down to the next generation. Um, yeah, and then because we care so much, um, we care so much. There was a time where I would just listen and listen to all of my friends, and they would be going through, and it would become overwhelming for me and I would just cry. And at the time, I didn't even know why I was crying, but I was overwhelmed with everything that they had going on. And like I said, I think it's just because we take on so much because we care.
Hmm.
Yeah, but we have to learn to actually put forth self-care and know that we can care without being so overwhelmed by other people's situations or even our own situations.
Okay, so and it's okay to say, like, what, I'm dealing with my own stuff right now, because I don't think sometimes
Right.
people understand, like, what, Ivy got her own stuff going on, but they still want to pack more stuff on us. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you're strong, you got it, so I'm gonna pack some more stuff on you.
Right.
Speaking about, they talked about, taking care of yourself and things that you can do at home. So I remember,
Mm-hmm.
just to be transparent, and we talked about just taking on so much and so much.
Right.
So I get migraines, right? And I remember I was going to the doctor, and
Mm-hmm.
all I wanted to do was just go and get a doctor. I already knew the routine. Go to the doctor, say I got a migraine, and they was going to give me a shot, right? Shot of
Right.
I need my shot of Imitrex and the Toradol, making me go to sleep. So I,
Mm-hmm.
I got to the doctor, and they ask you the regular questions. Are you you want to hurt yourself? You want to hurt others, and things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
questions, and I'm like, no. Do you want to hurt yourself? No. You want to hurt others? No. And they asked me a question. They always ask me this all the time. And they said, are you depressed?
Mm.
And you know what, Miss Alicia? I answered her, bawling, I don't even know where it came from.
Yeah.
Bawling, crying. and I said, no. I was crying and
Right.
bawling, crying, and still said no. And
Wow.
still said no. So she immediately
Mhm.
stopped and took me straight to mental health, straight to mental health.
Mhm.
Why is it that we still know that something is going on with us, but we don't want to go get help?
That's a good question. Um, Other than, wanting to be strong, because that's what we were taught to be strong. You don't want nobody all up in your business. Um, Other than that, I think the main reason we really don't get help is because we I, we feel that we can fix ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We feel
Mm-hmm.
that we can fix ourselves. And, it's hard fixing others. So you have to know that it's hard, fixing yourself too. And matter of fact, we can't fix anybody. Honestly, we can't fix them, but we can listen and things of that sort. But I think the reason why we don't just seek help is because we were taught to be strong, to take it. So
So how do you know? So tell us, how do you know when you're not feeling yourself? How do you know when you're not feeling yourself?
I'm not feeling myself when I have gone all day without a good laugh. I am I laugh at just about everything. Back in the day, my grandmother would say, "What y'all laughing at? What's so funny?" And it could be the silliest thing, but we laughed all the time. And I brought that over into adulthood. Um, Being pregnant last year, I was intentionally happy. My baby, he looks just like his dad, but he has my joy all over him. He just laughs all day long, and I love that. So when I've gone through a day without laughter, then yeah, something's wrong.
There's something's wrong. So how can
Yeah.
you see that? How do you so how do you see that in other people? If if you don't know them, or even if you know them, how can you sense, like, sis, I I I can see something is wrong. Like, do you want to talk? Like, how can we sense it in other people?
I think it's just the connection that you have with other people. I'm big on purpose. I ask God on a daily, what would you have me do today? What would you have me say to someone today? And I think it's just that connection of being able to, and even a stranger, just being in God's will and in His presence. He allows some things to open up to you, and you not even know a person or what they're going through, but he'll allow you to say something or, make a kind gesture. Um, and that helps that next person. So I think it's just the connection between you and God, and then God allowing you to flow over into the other person's life.
Okay, and that's true, and that's definitely true. Um, so when you're not feeling yourself, what do you do?
Oh, I sing. I sing when I'm mad or when I become agitated. I feel myself getting agitated. I'll start to sing. And I'm big on gospel. So now that I am older, I know those hymns and what they mean now. I can actually sing those, and it'll speak to me. So I sing. And everybody knows when I get to sing, do not bother me.
That's good. how how can your mental wellness affect relationships, like with others? How can it affect your relationship?
I think someone spoke on bringing baggage um, or something like that, but just so when you carry on a lot, when you have a lot that you're pulling behind you, it's baggage basically. You don't want to put that off on anyone. or just the same. You don't want anybody putting it off on you. So just maintaining the baggage that comes along with
Mhm.
you and what you have going on, making sure that you are in a place that you can just be free.
Oh,
Did I
and
answer
what?
your question?
Yeah. And what are some coping strategies that help you maintain your stress, like to manage your stress? Because sometimes, like when you have all this baggage, I mean, when you say baggage, but when you take much on,
Right.
you take so much on. Sometimes, like depending on me, and I'm a work in progress. But I can take and take and take, and I always say, I'm either hot or cold. I'm working on my warm. I'm working on my warm.
Hmm.
So you take and take and take, and then I be like anybody can get it at some time, because you
Come
working
on now.
because you just take and take and take and take and take. So what are some coping strategies and some to manage like your stress so you don't explode on the wrong person, you don't get overwhelmed.
Right.
So what are some things that you can help ladies out there just to like help them manage their stress?
Right. So, I told my sister, I said, we have to learn how to get ghost. I am good at getting ghost. I'm good at falling off the grid. Um, just having that time to myself though. And that's what I mean, falling off the grid. When last year carrying, it was real, yeah, it was really important to me, and I wanted to make sure that I was healthy, mentally and physically. So I fell off the grid. I got ghost. I ghosted Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of that good stuff. And I didn't really answer my phone. And I
Right.
didn't feel like I needed to have an explanation when I did come back, because those who knew, and those who didn't, then you'll find out. But just having being able to take time to yourself is a coping skill, and do that without anyone's permission. You don't need permission to take the time to yourself. You don't need permission to not answer your phone. Like, just do it. Just do it. Another coping skill that I find to be helpful is I journal. I journal, but I also read. I love reading, so I will read a good book. Mary Monroe is my favorite author. She's kind of local to me, but she's my favorite author. She writes good books. So reading and just taking time without permission.
Mhm.
Those are my coping skills.
That's good. I love that. I love that that disappearing that. Let me tell you,
Look,
you don't
Houdini.
like you don't need a permission, and sometimes like people are so afraid of what others are going to feel, and then they hurt
Mm,
on the inside because they're worried about what others say, and then
right.
hurting, but then they're upset that people don't respect their boundaries. And because
Hmm.
they don't respect their own boundaries, they don't even have any boundaries. So that's good that
Right.
you let me tell you, my phone go on do not disturb, and I'm fine with it. I check it in the morning. I check it. It's okay, and I don't like you said. You don't owe anybody an explanation.
Mm,
And that's what we have to understand. Is
right.
we don't need it. We don't. I always say my yes is expensive. It's
Mm,
and I always say my yes is expensive. So if I'm saying yes to you, that means I'm saying yes intentionally to you. I chose to say yes to you, and
right.
you know. So I love that. Um. So what advice would you give someone out there? Like what advice do they don't know how they don't have boundaries. They're lost. They need help. They need direction. What is something that you can what advice could you give them?
So like I said, I'm big on purpose. I call myself the purpose influencer. Anybody who's around me, they got to be living in purpose, right? So I mean, starting off with purpose. And I took a trip to Atlanta some years ago, and I visited Dr. Martin Luther King's church, and he was speaking over the intercom. And one of the things that he said was, if you don't know your purpose, you ought to be seeking God. So I tell people, first and foremost, seek God. He put these physical people in our lives so that they could help us, but we still want to at all times seek him for direction. So seek God first, and then you can seek out, ask God. You do your research on a mental a therapist, and
Mhm.
ask God which one you should go to, because there are qualifications that some have and others don't have. So do your homework, seek God and do your homework, and just whatever purpose God gives to you, walk in it, and walk in it boldly. Yeah,
And that's
that's
good.
that's it.
Yeah, I mean that's good. I mean, and they, and I know someone said earlier before, I can't remember which lady, but you don't have to be perfect. You're gonna make mistakes. Okay,
Right.
it's okay to make
Mm-hmm.
mistakes. It's okay to learn from someone.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to not get it right. It's okay not to be
Right.
okay. Because I used to say all the time, and I don't know if it's like the military in me, but I used to say,
Mm-hmm.
that's probably why I had that emotional breakdown, because I used to give myself, Ivan, you got 24 hours to cry, to whatever you're gonna do. You got 24 hours, and then you
Mm-hmm.
got to get it together. And
Right.
and what if I wasn't ready in 24 hours? It didn't matter what it was. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to give the same grace you give everybody else. You got to give yourself. You
Amen.
got to give yourself, and we extend that to everybody else. We extend grace to everybody else but ourselves. So I say, give yourself grace, give yourself time, and
Right.
treat yourself nicely, like you treat everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And also schedule a rest day. Put it on your calendar. I got it on my rest day.
Yes.
I got it on my calendar. Every Thursday is my rest day. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody gonna rest. But
I love it.
thank you so much, Miss Alicia. Thank you so much for joining. Please tell everybody how to get in touch with you.
So, thanks again for having me, Ivory. This has been fun, and getting my feet wet again. Things have been slow since having my baby, so but I'm back at it. People can connect with me, you guys, at Cantrell Consulting on Facebook, and Instagram. Cantrell Consulting. Um, yeah, that's it.
Well, thank you again. Y'all connect with Miss Alicia. Y'all tell her this going at a seller. Congratulations also for that new baby of hers. Thank
So
you.
excited.
Thank you. We're gonna keep it going. Up next, we have Miss Anisha Nelson, the visionary founder of Nurses Circle. Miss Anisha dedicates her efforts for empowering female nurses to conquer burnout and achieve her work-life harmony, all while staying anchored in her faith. Having navigated numerous professional challenges, her personal journey, her deeply influenced her work and her faith, fueling her passion to support others facing similar trials. Through Nurses Circle, she cultivates a supportive community where female nurses receive the guidance, resources, and fellowship needed to thrive in every aspect of their lives, guided by faith. Miss Miss Nelson, you ready? Hey, beautiful, how you doing?
Hi, Irie. Absolutely. I am excited and fired up about tonight.
Yes, welcome to Energize Her.
Thank you so much, Ivy. And I just want to say, I know Tamika had to step off for a second, but I just wanted to say thank you, Tamika, for this opportunity to be here, to be able to speak to your community, to speak on this summit. And also, I want to say to Dr. Tavis, she's the one who pushed me off the ledge, that purpose pusher. And so I wanted to say a special thank you to her as well. So I'm excited about this, Ivy. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, ladies, and for any gentlemen that might be on, Ivory just gave you a great introduction of who I am. So I'm just going to leave that there and I'm going to get right into it. I'm so excited about tonight. And I hope you are too. And so, as she said, I am Anisha Nelson. I like to call myself the nurse nurturer. Coming behind Dr. Shaniqua, and I don't want to pronounce her name wrong, the teacher. Just listening to them talk about self care got me. I was over here in my chair shaking. So I'm excited to talk about Nurture Her, our self care journey tonight. So I like to engage, like they say, I like a talk back church. I know we're not in church, y'all, right? But I want to know who we have. And so I can see the chat here. So go ahead. You can just drop a one. If you're a mother, if you're a business owner, if you're a grandmother, if you're a caregiver, if you're a nurse like myself, if you're in a healthcare field, go ahead and just drop a one in the chat. Okay. Okay. All right. So everybody's here is fits into that category. Any of those categories. Okay. All right. So we got some ones on Facebook. We got some ones on YouTube. Okay. Dr. Tavis put in about 7 ones. So she all of that. Okay. In a bag of chips. Okay. We got some ones. Okay. Okay. All right. So tonight it's all about prioritizing you. And you've heard it all. You know, we put others before ourselves, but I came to let you know it is so crucial to remember that you can't pour from an empty cup. And the speaker that came before me said the same thing, but we're going to dig in a little bit deeper and talk about some self-care. We're going to talk about the difference between self-care and self-maintenance. I'm going to give you some tips before you get out of here. And we're going to even do an exercise before you leave out of here. I know you said, wait a minute, I don't have my workout clothes on. That's okay. You don't need it. We're going to do a quick self-care exercise before we leave here tonight, just in case you didn't take care of you today. All right. So let's go ahead and dive into it. What's self-care? You've heard definitions. You kind of have your own definition of what you think self-care is. But I want you to know that it's more than just your occasional pampering sessions. And Dr. Shaniqua said that, you know, getting your manicures and your pedicures and your massages and going to get your hair done and or getting your wig flipped, whatever it is you do, right? But it's about regular engaging activities that nourish our minds, our bodies, and our spirit. It's more like that holistic approach that takes care of everything, right? It includes practices that enhance our overall well-being, right? So setting aside time for relaxation, engaging in hobbies that we absolutely love, and prioritizing our mental and our spiritual and physical health, right? And like I said, it's like that holistic approach to maintaining that balance and ensuring we are at our 100% best. All right. So you might say self-care versus self-maintenance. What is self-maintenance? Well, I'm so glad you asked. So it's important that we distinguish the two because I don't think people realize that there is a difference between the two. All right. So self-care and self-maintenance. I want you to think of this like maintaining a car. And although we're all ladies on here, I'm sure we have either dropped the car off at the car dealer, sent the car to the car dealer with our significant other, our spouse, or whomever. But I think you'll resonate with this. So think of maintaining your car, right? So self-maintenance is like getting your car's oil change. So that is kind of essential to make sure you keep that car running smooth and nothing breaks down, right? You see that little 20%, 50%, and if you see the 5%, you need to be on your way to the dealer, right? And so in our own lives, self-maintenance involves meeting our basic needs. So for us, it would be making sure we're eating, making sure we're getting enough sleep, 6 to 9 hours. Okay. Making sure we're exercising because these things are crucial to our basic functioning, our basic needs. So as a registered nurse for over a decade and being in healthcare for over 25 years, I've seen and I've heard and I've felt all of these things of why it's so important to self-maintain and self-care. All right. So I'm not just telling you something that I read in a book. I'm telling you something that I've lived and I'm telling you something that I see on a daily basis. All right. So self-care goes beyond that. All right. So that was self-maintenance. Self-care goes above and beyond that. So let's take this back to the example of the car. So self-care is like taking your car I would say on a scenic drive, right? Or getting a detail. Because remember, when you take that car to that car wash and it's sparkling and shining and you vacuum the inside out, you say, I wish somebody would. I wish a kid would drop a chip on this chair, right? I wish they would. I wish a bird would poop on this car after I done got this thing detailed and got it real nice and I'm ready to go on this ride, right? It's all about enjoying the ride and keeping it looking and feeling its best. So we got the oil change, the inside looks good, but we want to make sure the outside looks good as well. All right. And so for us, self-care activities might involve going on those quiet walks, right? Going to a park, sitting down and enjoying a good book on the deck, in your living room, in your pajamas, whatever it is, or even doing a creative hobby that you like. I love roller skating, y'all. So sidebar, I'm going to order my skates because I'm going to the skating ring within the next couple of weeks. So I just had to say that. So whatever it is you like to do, a hobby, an activity, they got a 40 plus jump rope double dutch group in my area. I think I'm 40 plus, but anywho, so what's something that you like to do, right? What is something that's going to get you feeling good about who you are, right? These activities really should leave us feeling replenished, making us feel balanced and enhancing our overall quality of life, not just our basic functioning. Okay. So that's the difference between self-care and self-maintenance. Now, all right, lean in a little bit. Let's talk about boundaries. Yeah, the B word, boundaries. And so setting boundaries is so crucial for us preserving our energy and our well-being. And yes, boundaries does have something to do with nurturing us and that self-care piece. Because you know what? Boundaries really help us to identify and to define what we deem as acceptable and what is not in our interactions and in our relationships, whether it be our children, our spouses, our coworkers, our bosses, or even us as business owners, right? We have to learn how to protect our time, our space, and our emotional health. All right. So, for example, as a registered nurse, it might mean saying no to working an extra shift, right? You might say, listen, I didn't work 3 shifts in a row. Today is my day off. And it's just no, right? It might be saying no to an extra commitment that somebody else has assigned to you, because how many of us know people assign things to us, right? They assign things to us. It's, oh, yeah, give it to Anisha. She'll take care of it. No, right? So we have to make sure that we're not stretched too thin, or like I said, or even letting our families know when you need that uninterrupted time for yourself. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, that all those things we talked about earlier, a business owner, I have a silent investor, all those things. And so at any given time, my husband might need me here. Those 4 kids, yes, 4. My oldest is 8. I have a set of twins that are 6, and my youngest is 2. I know a little bit about this right here. You understand? So boundaries are so important. You might need to go upstairs and go in that bathroom and shut that good door and take you what you need. Boundaries. Sometimes I get the little one underneath of the door with his little fingers. Mommy, can I come in? That's my boundaries. This is my quiet time for me, right? So boundaries are a way to honor our needs and our values, right? We have to honor our needs and values, okay? Creating those healthier dynamics in our personal and our professional life, okay? So I want to give you a couple of practical self-care strategies that you can incorporate into your daily routine. And I want you to look at this and take what's for you. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So the first thing is meditation, and you've heard that. And I'm just saying, let me say this. I'm not saying I want you to sit or that you need to sit for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour. A simple 3 minutes, a simple 5 minutes, taking some time to quiet down in a space that brings you joy, right? That brings you peace each and every day. Helps me to reduce stress and increases our clarity. Just a few minutes each day. All right. Journaling. And I'm sure a lot of you on here like to journal. Journaling is so good. It's such a good self-care strategy. writing your thoughts down and your feelings. And I think someone mentioned tonight, every day you should be journaling, right? How do you feel? Why did you feel that way? What was your thought process behind that? Why did you even respond that way, right? That's a great way to process our emotions and reflect on our day, how things went, right? At the end of the day, we lay down, we should get our journal off the side of our table and write down, how was today? You know, what was my day like? Get it all out before you rest. Spending nature is the next one. Spending time outdoors. I love a good walk through a neighborhood, looking at the trees, listening to the birds at the park, watching the kids run around, other people's kids, right? Sitting and watching the kids just run. It just gives you that sense of just peace, looking at the amazing creations of God and just a simple thank you. Nature is such a beautiful thing. And I see Lurleen just put over there, I love walking on the beach. I got to say, I believe God lives at the beach. And I'm going to leave that right there. He does. It's such a beautiful thing. The next thing is gratitude practice. Regularly, regularly acknowledging what you're thankful for can shift your entire mindset and improve how you feel. But we have to do it every day, right? So when you think of self-care, sometimes you think of, oh, like I said earlier, the manis, the petties, and those things are okay, right? But we have to think of things that we can do each and every day. And these are some things we can do every single day. And I mentioned hobbies, making sure we're engaging in activities that we love, painting with a twist, going not going knitting, going dancing, right? You might want to sign up for it. Now listen, if you want to sign up for a tap or a ballet class, I don't care how old or how young you are. Do you, baby? Do you, boo? Okay. Knitting, crocheting, whatever that looks like, whatever brings you joy. But remember, self-care is personal. Okay. I want you to find what resonates with you and make it a part of your daily life. Because what works for me may not work for somebody else, right? Remember, I told you I had a husband and 4 kids, 8 and under. So what might work for me may not work for the mother who is an empty nester, right? So I can't compare my self-care to her self-care because it looks totally different. But I want you to think about the things that I've shared and find something that resonates and that fits your life. All right. Overcoming guilt and prioritizing self-care. As women, we often feel guilty for taking time for ourselves, thinking, oh, this is selfish. I don't have time. But let me tell you, self-care is necessary and it is absolutely not selfish. When we prioritize our well-being, right, we're more present, we're more patient, and we are more effective in our roles. Trust me, when I take my personal time, my self-care time, I am much more better parent. When the kids do something that's often goofy, right, my response is going to determine if I had time to myself. Even on our jobs, you know, our coworker says something to us and we snap at them. It's like, ooh, girl, you need a break, right? It's all about recognizing that taking care of ourselves allows us to be the best version of ourselves for all those people we care about. Because even though I said caregivers as a, you know, at the beginning, we're all caregivers. We care for ourselves. We care for our spouses. We care for our kids. If you have a business, you care for that business. On your job, whatever your responsibilities are, yeah, you're a caregiver. A caregiver doesn't mean I take care of my mother who's aged or I take care of a child who has a disability. We are all caregivers. Okay. So I want you to give yourself permission to rest, to recharge and invest in your well-being. Okay. It's one of the most loving things that you can do for yourself and others. Because remember, when you do it for yourself, you can show up 110% for everybody else. All right. Before I conclude, ladies, I'm going to guide us through just a simple breathing exercise to help us kind of center ourselves and leave here refreshed. Remember, I said I had an activity that I wanted us to do. This is that exercise, right? You don't need your workout clothes on wherever you are. Okay. Just in case you didn't get a chance to do your self-care yet, this is one up on you for today. All right. So if you're sitting in your chair, I want you to get real comfortable and sit in your chair. Okay. I want you to close your eyes. If you're listening in your car while you're driving, don't close your eyes. If you need to pull over, do that. All right. So however you feel comfortable. And I'm going to guide you through the breathing. But what we're going to do is we're going to take nice, deep, full breaths through our nose, and we're going to fill our lungs up completely. Now, after doing the first one, you might say, oh my gosh, this is hard to do, because that means you're not used to breathing. And I know you're saying, sis, I'm breathing now, but I mean really breathing. All right. And then I want you to hold your breath, count to 4. I'll do the counting. You just do the breathing, right? And then we're going to slowly exhale through our mouth. Nice deep breathing in our nose to fill our lungs. We're going to hold for 4 seconds, and we're going to slowly release it out of our mouths. All right. And I want you to think about any tension, because I'm sure your shoulders are release it. Okay. Just breathe. And we're going to do 3 times of that. Right. And I want you to focus on your breathing. Focus on the breath that you're inhaling through your nose and the breath that's blowing out of your mouth and leaving your body. All right. You ready? All right. So go ahead. Kim says she's sitting. Okay. All right. So sit, feet flat on the ground. If your legs is crossed, uncross those legs. This. Plant them flat on the floor. Hands on your knees. Not the line dance song, but go ahead and put your hands on your knees. And we're going to go ahead. I'm going to walk you through this process. Okay. Go ahead and close your eyes. Just focus on your natural breathing right now. You ready? Okay. Let's go ahead. Nice deep breath. Inhale. 3, 2, 1. And exhale. Nice and slow. Nice deep breath. Inhale. Fill those lungs up as best as you can. Hold it. 2 and 1. Exhale. One more time. Nice deep breath in. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and exhale it out. How did you feel when you did that? Anytime I sit and I'm intentional about just taking time to breathe, I feel so much better. Go ahead and put it in the chat. Yes. Yes. When we're not used to breathing like that, we can feel it. So I encourage you, take some time to just breathe. Breathe. Good. I love it. I'm reading the comments over in the chat. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. So, in conclusion, I want to say nurturing ourselves on our self-care journey is not beneficial for us as individually, but for everyone around us. Like I said earlier, when we nurture us, we're able to be better nurturers for everybody else. And so when we commit to that self-care, like we talked about earlier, when we commit to setting boundaries, when we embrace activities that really nourish us, then we become more resilient and fulfilled. So I want you to make self-care a priority in your life from this moment forward. I want you to honor your needs, and I want you to embark on this journey with love and compassion for you. Thank you all for being here tonight. And remember, you are worth every moment of the care you give to yourself. And I just want to leave you with this one quote. Katie Reed, she has this awesome quote that I love. It's a self-care quote. And she says, self-care is giving the world the best of you instead of what's left of you. So I want to make sure you're doing that. Give the world the best of you instead of what's left for you. Thank you, ladies, so much. I hope and pray that this has been very beneficial to you and you were able to take even just one tip, even just one strategy from this conversation tonight to be able to say, you know what? I'm going to nurture me. Thank you so much for allowing me to share tonight.
And I've learned to stop talking before I take myself off of mute. I feel relief. I thank you for even just guiding us on that breathing exercise right there, because a lot of times we are so caught up in everything that we forget to breathe. We forget to just simply breathe.
Mhm.
That breathing is going to help release all of the stuff, well, at least some of the stuff, okay? But it give us like, like a release. For me, I feel relieved every time I do it because I'm intentional. And I love that you use the word be intentional
Mhm.
about what it is that you're doing. Be intentional about your breathing. Be intentional about, releasing and letting things just go as you're doing it. So I thank you. I appreciate you. And yes, the comments are here, honey. They are loving all that you've shared about the journey of self-care. I said earlier that self-care is a verb. At least we should be using it as a verb, not just as a noun to say, oh, that's a self-care thing. Absolutely not. You should be self-caring every single day. And you've given us some amazing tips, tools, and some resources to do just that. So Miss Anisha, thank you. I appreciate you, Anisha. Anisha Nelson, the nurse nurturer. Okay. How can the ladies, the viewing audience find you, connect with you, and stay connected?
Absolutely. Thank you so much again, Tamika, and also Dr. Tavis for this opportunity. You can find me everywhere, all social media platforms, Anisha Nelson RN. So just as it says here on the screen, Anisha Nelson RN. And then also on my website for all my nurses out there, thenursescircle.com. Thenursescircle.com.
Thenursescircle.com.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So listen, Anisha Nelson RN, go connect with her, find her across all social platforms, get connected, stay connected. And then we have her website, thenursescircle.com. Thenursescircle.com. So thank you. And Dr. Tavis, she said, listen, I'm so proud. So thank you so much, Anisha. I appreciate you for being here. This has been an absolute honor to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you, Tamika.
All right. So let's see here. All right, ladies, listen. And gents, okay, we do have some gents that are tuned in. We have a gent that's joining us tonight. I don't want to, be disrespectful and all. But I'm so excited to just have had this amazing time with the Energizer Leadership Summit. And I couldn't let this thing go without just an amazing jam-packed last conversation of the night, conversation of the summit. So I know y'all getting ready for y'all holiday stuff and all of that. But listen, this is not the time to leave. This is not the time to sway away. Share this broadcast with others that you know, like, and love, because listen, we have Dr. Tavis coming to the stage, okay? We have Miss Aubrey Claire coming to the stage, all right? And last but certainly not least, we have our last favorite gent joining us tonight, Mr. GQ himself, Gerard Ware. Hello, good evening. How are y'all doing? I'm so excited.
Doing well. How's everyone?
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, Dr. Terrace.
Hey.
Good to see you all.
Likewise.
Perfect, Dr. Tavis. Perfect, Dr. Tavis. Okay.
Gotcha.
Listen, thank y'all for being here. Dr. Tavis is actually about to lead us in this conversation. I love to surround myself with amazing people, amazing women, amazing gents that inspire me, that keep pushing me to do more, to become more, to be greater and do greater things. And listen, I'm surrounded, y'all. I'm surrounded. Dr. Tavis, it's on
Listen,
you.
I am super excited about this conversation on tonight because when I think about, and our topic is the power of choice, the power of choice. And as women and as men, but as women, we have so many choices to make. We have health choices. We have entrepreneur choices. We have parenting choices. We have food choices. We have choices, relationship choices, education choices. What kind of shoes are we going to wear? Choices, right? How am I going to get my hair this week? What about my nails? Literally, we have so many choices. And we live in a society, y'all, where choices matter.
Mm-hmm.
We live in a society where people can be so unforgiving.
Right.
And sometimes I believe, Tamika, that we give too much weight to others as it pertains to our choices. And I want us to dive into this conversation and this dialogue on tonight from the perspective of freedom. And I believe, Tamika, that this conversation is going to set some women free, even if it means me. I believe that we're going to get liberated even the more on tonight. My first question is going to be, what does the power Listen to the word. The power of choice means to you in the context of women empowerment. The power of choice. Who wants to tackle that first?
Let's hear from Ivory.
Sounds good to me. I was going to go in that direction.
She looked like she ready to talk.
Wait, it's choosing to be who I am,
Mhm.
and having that choice and not letting anyone take that power from me. Um, and so often I didn't have a choice. Um, being military, being married, being a mother, that choice was taken from me, and so I just follow suit. So now I realize it's so important for women to have that power, um, and to choose and to have that power of choice.
Wow, that was so good. So my question now is for you, Gerard. I want to know this. Hey, we've been on the panel before, right, man, Gerard, Tamika, before?
You may have.
I think
I don't
so.
know.
I really think we
It
have.
seems so familiar.
A
Probably
couple years
have.
ago. I think
Probably.
so.
Yeah.
So my question for you, as a man, you watch women with different choices of the hair, the body, what's in today. Is it light? Is it dark? Is it big butt, small butt? Does she have to be a career woman? Does she need to stay at home? Give us as women advice when it comes to the empowerment of embracing the wholeness of our nose, of our hair, of who we are.
Yeah, kind of on the line of what Ivory was stating. It's just I want to focus on the power part of it. You know that old saying that with power comes responsibility, and I think freedom to choose, power to choice is one of God's most sacred gifts that He's given us. You know, in the church we call it freedom of the will, but again, I think it comes with great responsibility. And I've had this talk with people before that when you talk about responsibility and accountability, they're like close relatives, and like responsibility being the parent and accountability is like the child. You can't have true accountability if I'm not responsible, if I feel like I'm not responsible for something. So I think when you look at it in the context of ongoing responsibility, how my choices or how your choices, while you have the freedom to make them, they do affect other people. You know, everything that we do affect others, and even what we don't do can affect other people. So while again, God did give you that great sacred gift, I think it's to be used responsibly and with the mindset and the understanding to be responsible and accountable for your choices and realize that they can affect others.
You know what? When you were speaking, I thought about, and I have sons. I have two boys. I don't have
Mhm.
daughters, but I immediately had a vision of a mother putting on her makeup and the daughter standing up looking at her. And
Mm.
Tamika, I know you have a baby girl, and you have to make choices every day. I want to know how conscientious are you when it comes to your daughter and the decisions and the things that you do as it pertains to your appearance.
Listen, I am my baby's role model, okay? I am the first role model she will ever have, and I hope that I am the greatest role model that she'll ever have, right? Because again, I'm very aware of the things that I do, how I do things, what I say, how I say it, the attitude, if I have an attitude that day. I'm very aware of it because I don't want to have it be so, well, my mama was like this, so I can be like this too, right? So I'm very aware of how I act, how I behave, how I speak and respond because she is such a sponge, y'all.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, she is, and she reminded me of something the other day with some of the stuff that she was doing, and I'm just like, where did she get that from? So again, I'm very aware of how I do things because she wants to do exactly what her mama do. She don't see me wear a lot of makeup because I'm really not a makeup kind of girl. You know, I put some war paint on here for y'all, okay? But I'm really a down home type of girl, and we just kick it around the house. And so I want her to be comfortable in her own skin, not feeling like she has to see all of these images on social media, well, not social media, but online or on TV, and think that she has to be that way or this way or do it this way or do it that way. I speak life into her every single day. And I'm just like, hey, you beautiful, baby girl. You are smart. You genius. You everything. You is everything. Okay. So
Wow.
again, I'm very aware of what I do and how I do because I know that it affects her and she's going to want to do everything that I do. And so she has her assortment of lip gloss because I let my baby girl wear her lip gloss and she will go put it on in her little mirror and she'll walk around with her head held high. Good, good. I love that because that's saying she likes her lip gloss and she don't need anything else to feel beautiful. One of her favorite sayings is, "I'm beautiful, right?" And I'm just like, yes, you are.
Oh my God. I love that. And I will tell you that that will never go away. My dad is deceased now, but I will call him and be like, get my face made up, whatever, and say it, daddy. And he would say, you are so beautiful. So I want to come back to you, Tamika, because as you were speaking about your daughter, I remember a story that you told me years ago, because we've known each other for a while, about your aunt who instilled that in you. And what it sounds like is because you have the power of choice and was taught well, you're able to give it to your daughter. Let's talk about that because what we're doing now and what we do on social media is setting the tone for the future, just like your aunt did for you and how you're doing for your daughter. Let's chat about that.
Absolutely. Listen, growing up, I had a circle of women around me. Somebody earlier spoke about a village. It takes a village to raise children. And I had that village. And I'm very appreciative of that village that raised me up. And it was a village of my aunts, my grandmothers, my mama, my stepmama. Okay. So I had a village of women around me that was pouring into me every single day. Now, I didn't grow up feeling that I was less than because of looks, because I've always been a cute little girl, okay? However, they poured so much more into me. They poured love into me. They poured faith into me. Like I had to go to church, okay? I had no power in that choice. So it was just like they were pouring, how I'm supposed to be as a little girl, how I'm supposed to be as a young lady, not pushing me to be something that I'm not and accepting me for all that I am. And so with that, it really allowed me to be just as confident as I am every single day, without the need to put on for anybody or anything. And now I get to pour that into my baby girl. I get to say, Mama, you beautiful. Mama, you is beautiful. Yes, you is everything. Yes, Miss Stella. You are beautiful. You are smart. You are sassy when she wants to be. Like she is everything. And I thank God for allowing me the opportunity to be in this position at this point in my life to pour into her, because at one point in time I wasn't so mentally healthy and mentally ready to do that, but I'm able to do that. And I'm just excited. And I don't take the responsibility. Jabral, you spoke on responsibility. I don't take the responsibility short. I don't take it for granted because, again, it's my responsibility to raise her up so that when she goes older, she don't depart from how she's supposed to be. Okay.
I love that. I love that. I have a question for you. Everybody didn't have that, what Tamika had. And I want to ask you, how can women today take ownership of their choices that they make in their lives on today, wherever they are, however they were raised, to rise up to the occasion and take ownership of their choices?
Once they, I think one, they have to recognize in the beginning, like where they at doesn't define them. Wherever they came from, however they was raised, or things like that. You always have a choice to change. You always have a choice to go forward. And if you do have children, how do you want to raise them? Um, so that's what I think. Because like me growing up, how I raised my daughter is so different than how I was raised. My daughter is a total opposite, because what I learned at 40 to be so free and to be the self-care, she's doing it at a younger age. I mean, she got it. I don't know if it's like these kids is this generation. I don't know if it's us, teaching them, but they got it. And I look at her and I am so proud of who she's becoming, because she knows herself now. And I think it's because we got it now. Now we understand it. And it's not because our parents taught us, it's because now we have unlearned some things when we were raised. Now we're starting to learn some things now at this age, and it's okay. It's okay. What our parents went through, back in the day, it got us to this point, but now it's okay to unlearn it and teach our daughters so they can get it, so generations can go forward and be healed and be free.
Oh, that was good. Listen, this conversation is so good. I am with some of my coaching colleagues tonight, and we're talking about the power of choice as it pertains to women. So you said something that I want to ask Gerard about. How do you think the attitudes towards women's choices have evolved over time, and what work do you think still needs to be done in that?
Oh man, that's a good question. Appreciate that. It's evolved a lot. We just think about just a few decades ago when that power wasn't there. Not just in voting, but just everyday choices. And I see how just how trivial it can get. I see women ridiculed for wearing bonnets. And I don't want that to become a discussion right now, but you know,
No, that's good.
when Dr. King talked about the content of your character, it's again just seemed kind of trivial to belittle and berate women for wearing a bonnet. For who knows why they might be wearing that bonnet, but we've already judged and thought of them in a certain manner because of that. So it's come a long way. And Tamika and Ivy, you probably both have had experience in this. I don't know if you served time overseas, but I was in Afghanistan, and the women over there, the females over there, can't go to school. So some of the things that women have the right to do here, it can seem like we take it for granted. I talked to my daughter and my nieces and told them like we can't take that right for granted, because I've seen women or females that didn't have that right. So it's one of the most oppressive, ways to control women when you take away the basic learning of reading and writing. You can control so much if they can't learn and understand who they are. So that's it. And I think you asked, what's the second part of the question? Where are we going with it?
Yeah, what do you think we need some improvement?
In this volatile political climate, how they're taking away the DEI initiatives. And we know as people of color, minorities, the benefit that comes from those programs. And here we are, when I spent my last 7 years in the Army as an equal opportunity leader in the Army. And so I dealt with that, and to see it literally being stripped away, from the decision makers. I'll be honest and say that it's kind of disheartening, but that's, for me, it's important that we, in spite of the trials or whatever the issues, that the challenges that we're faced, that we have a level of faith and remember who we are in God, and that power to choose, and that intrinsic value that we all possess from God can't be taken away from man. Now, can it make it tough and difficult on us? Absolutely. But at the same time, I am mindful of, as bad as it gets here, it's nothing like it is in other countries. And that's not to thumb my nose at any of our challenges here, because they're real and they're relevant. But, I see that we've taken some step backwards. But shows like this, I think they're important. Seeing educated, powerful, confident women like yourself is important to be seen by others, because representation is very important. So, again, while we're taking a step back, I do see that there is a lot of positive to be looked at and hold on to.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Tamika, I want to ask you a question. What do you think some of the key responsibilities that come with the power of choice? The pandemic shifted us totally, like totally. We don't go to church the same. We don't look the same. Sometimes we want to be introverted introverts. So because we have so many choices, what are some of the responsibilities that come with these choices that we have?
Wow. So let me tell you something. I don't know if you're picking on me, Dr. Tavis, or not, because listen, since the pandemic happened, I have not left my house, right? And that was a choice to not leave. And I will tell you that the responsibility of that means that now I have to make sure that everything in my house is still running right without feeling alone, without without feeling like we're still a part of reality that's actually happening every single day. So making sure that my children are still being able to engage with the outside world in ways, making sure that my husband still has an opportunity to do the things that he's enjoying to do, making sure that I'm not losing myself in these four walls, in this grass out here, okay? In these hills out here. So again, the responsibility that I think that comes with choices, it hinges on whether it is the right choice that you've made, right? Because that responsibility can either be something as show up as a consequence, or it can really be a responsibility that you're now adding on to yourself. So I chose to homeschool my children. So that's just another level of a responsibility that I chose. So with that, it comes, you're really gonna teach these kids, you're really gonna do all of this, right? So I have to be responsible to handle the responsibilities that comes along with the choices that I've made. So I think that anytime that we are choosing to do one thing or the other, we have to make sure that it's the right thing that we're doing, first of all, being in alignment with what God has for our life. And if it's not, we have to be willing to deal with the consequences, but not shut down from the consequences, face it, and find ways to work on it and fix it, and not just buckle under all of it. So for me, for me, the choice, the responsibilities that come with choice is to show up as you need to show up, but also take care of yourself, so that way when it's time to show up, you can fully show up in whatever capacity is necessary. But also taking care of yourself and remembering that you are a person, you are a human, you are not God. You're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna fall, you're gonna stumble, but you can still get back up and keep going. So that's what the responsibilities come from when we're making our choices.
Oh, wow. That was so, so good. I want to ask you this, Ivan. We live in a society where we are so liberated and we have so many choices. Can you tell me a time when you made a not so good choice and you had to grapple with the repercussions behind not making the right choice?
So, so I'm not gonna say I make wrong. I'm not gonna say that I always make the right choices, but I'm a leap of faith type of person. I pray about it, and I jump out there. And I'm like, God got me. But sometimes I jump out there a little bit too quick, But I'm not gonna say like I make wrong choices, because a lot of the choices taught me to be strong, and I learned from a lot of the decisions that I chose. So I made some incorrect choices, but I have learned from a lot of my choices. Would I take them back? No, I would not. I would not have taken any of them back, because they've shaped me, they molded me, and some of them tested me, grew my faith. I met some friends out of them. I lost some friends out of them. But those things that happened, it needed to happen in order for me to get where I am today. So, do I have any regrets of the decisions I made? I'm gonna say no.
Awesome sauce. To me, Gerard, I want to ask you that question. I know you've typically women probably lean on you for advice. What have you seen? And we're not going to generalize us as women, but what have you seen that you can say, I know that sometimes women regret what because of the power of choice?
Oh, this is good, and I think it's a relevant question for today's time too. But not to be sexist or generalize all women, but there are some, in my experience, a lot of emotionally charged decisions. And not that emotionally charged decisions are always wrong, but what I try to do, especially my years in the army, I've been taught to try to go off of principle. And that's not to act like I don't have, or we shouldn't act like we don't have emotions, because our emotions are there to protect us. If we didn't have fear, it'd be people doing all kinds of crazy stuff and becoming unalived. So emotions are great, But what I want to make sure that we talk about on our different platforms is understand the consequences of our choices and understanding don't or just slow down when it comes to making decisions when emotions are high. So that's what I would say.
You know, that's a really, really solid answer. We've been talking about that a lot in one of my communities. And I want to ask you, Tamika, because you're so cool, calm, and collected. And I know you've had to talk some women off the wall before. Like, calm down, and calm down. What is one piece of wisdom you will give to women who, you know, you have the power of choice, you messed up. So now what would you tell them?
Woman up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's all we can do. We have to woman up. I mean, a lot of times we say man up, and it's geared towards the man, right? But really and truly, as I said earlier, it's all about facing whatever that challenge is, whatever that consequence is, figuring out what the solution is. But first of all, let me back up for a moment. We have to pray about this thing because what how you got into it, you ain't pray to get into it. Okay, so we're gonna have to pray to get you out of this. That's the first part of warming up, right? Warming up about this thing. Pray, ask God for direction, ask God for guidance. Say, God, get me up out of this. Okay. I know I talked to God. He brought for me. And so it's just like, listen, bro, you're gonna have to come through. You're gonna make some things happen. I don't know what I just did to mess this thing up, but I need you to fix it. And I promise going forward, I'm going to do better. Right. So we have to, one, pray to God, ask God for guidance up out of it, but keep our word when we ask God for it. Right. But then we have to face it. Put your big girl panties on and say, okay, I got myself up in this. This is what I got to do to get out of it. Find somebody that's going to hold you accountable to doing that to get up out of it. Find some therapy if that's what you need. And just chase your transformation. I spoke about this, I think, on Wednesday. Chase your transformation, but trust his process for your life. So that's what I would say to anybody who is who going through it. Okay, they're going through it. They're trying to figure out, how I get up out of this. That's what I would say to do.
Wow, this is a loaded question. What wisdom will you give, Ivory, on that?
One more time. Repeat the question. I was listening to Tamika's answer one more time.
For women who need to own up to what their decisions that they made, because sometimes we can come up with so many emotions and so many I call it justifying the justifiable. And I'm just like, sis, just because you can justify it doesn't make it right. So what wisdom will you give women who never take, if you want to burn my hide, don't take ownership of your stuff? What wisdom will you give?
Stop making excuses. Stop making excuses. Just do it, because we come up with so many excuses why we can't do this, why we doing this, why we didn't do this. Like, stop coming up with so many excuses why we can't do this, why we can't go back to school, why we can't do this. Stop making up so many excuses and just be accountable. We lack accountability, and we get mad when someone call us out on our own stuff. So, just stop making excuses and just do it. We got to be hard on ourselves and hard on our friends, the people that we love sometimes. So just do it. Stop making excuses.
That is so good. These questions and this conversation for our audience, the power of choice, are so vital for the season and the times that we're in, because as women, we're so multifaceted and we wear so many hats and we have so many decisions that we have to make. We have to take control over our lives and what we believe in and own up to our stuff. So there's a level of liberation that we have, and we have to be conscientious about the decisions that we make, because society and the transformations that have taken place can take us to a place. I say that because my next question is this: what wisdom will you give your 16-year-old self as far as the power of choice?
I
me.
love that.
Oh,
It's a good one.
so who's that for?
Tamika first.
Oh wow. The word that I would give myself. Oh, this is a good one. It's all about self-forgiveness. It's about self-forgiveness for me, and forgiving me, because I carried around so many things that had happened to me as if I was responsible for them happening to me. So it's self-forgiveness, but it's also within that learning how to forgive others and being okay with if they don't accept it, if they don't accept the accountability for what they have done, just being okay with it, but understanding that I had to forgive them for me. Because again, I walked around a hot fuse for a minute, y'all. Listen, this calm, cool, collected woman right here was not always calm nor cool. So I had to learn how to let things go. I had to learn that if I say I forgive, then I have to fully forgive and I have to move on. I have to let it go, fully let it go. And it took me a long time to learn about what letting it go really took, what it takes to really let it go. But self-forgiveness would be the one thing that I would tell my 16-year-old self, that girl, it's gonna be some things that's gonna happen, but I'm gonna need you to not take it on because it's not your fault. So forgive yourself for whatever you feel that you are going through, whatever you feel that you've added to make that happen. Forgive yourself, forgive them, but be willing to move on.
Oh, that's awesome sauce. Ivory, what would you tell your 16-year-old self?
So I have a picture of my younger self on my mirror that I look at. I had it for years, every single day. And it's just a reminder of where I was and where I am. And so I will tell my 16-year-old self that, you are loved. No matter what it looked like, no matter what the situation was, no matter what you had to go through, where you've been, you were loved. So, and you were always loved. It was just hard to see it.
That's awesome. So, Gerard, what would you tell a 16? I don't know if you have daughters or not, but
I
what
do.
would you do? Oh, I'm a daddy's girl, so I know this is going to be a good question. What would you tell your 16-year-old daughter?
Uh, put it bluntly, that some freedoms were made to destroy you. In this world where we want to be brave and bold and daring and, just jump out there and, be off from, under the roof with our parents, where we don't have the oversight and the control. And what I've learned is that some of those freedoms will kill you and destroy you, and not just you, but the generations to come and those around you. So just there's power and there's decency and order and being conservative. And, that whole live your best life is overrated. Unfortunately, I didn't learn a lot of that until I lived my best life. Thank God for praying grandparents and parents. And that they help keep that hedge of protection around me. But I don't want to overstate that or undermine that. These freedoms can kill you and the people around you. So just be careful and use them wisely.
That was so good.
Right.
That was so good, because that is the truth of it all, that these freedoms can kill you. We have social media. We have so many freedoms that can really be to the detriment of us. Everything is recorded now, Gerard. So I'm going to take that one with me. I want to ask this question. Choices, relationship choices, education choices, motherhood choices, career choices, food choices, entrepreneur choices, health choices. I want you all, each of you, to take one choice, one of those choices, and give us some wisdom. For example, if you choose career, why did you choose your career, and what wisdom would you give somebody else? Tamika, let's start with you.
Oh, let's start. I mean, there's been a lot of choices I've made in my life. I will go with relationship choice, specifically marriage choice, right? For a lot of people that don't know me, my husband and I, we've been married for 25 years. We just celebrated 25 in February. And we married in 3.5 months of meeting each other. And that was a choice that I had to say yes or no. Okay. You snatched your girl up real quick off the market. Okay. However, it was a choice that I had to say, I'm willing to be in a relationship, in a committed relationship, in a monogamous relationship with only this one guy for the rest of my life, right? That was a choice. And I took it very seriously, y'all. Took it very seriously. And so for me, I would say that when you are because I chose relationship as my choice. When you're in a relationship, you have to be willing to compromise. You have to be willing to listen and have open communication, because what you want for the other person may not be what they're wanting, and what they want for you may not be what you want, right? So you have to be willing to compromise, be willing to sacrifice a few things, sacrifice a few of those freedoms that we're talking about, And a few of those choices that we're talking about, sacrifice some of that for the good of the relationship if that's what you desire. But I will also say that you should pray before you go into that thing, because once you're in it, you're supposed to be in it for a lifetime, right? So make sure that that's what you really, really want before you just say yes to the dress.
Wow, Gerard, I want to hear from you, and then Ivory.
Yeah, mine would be entrepreneurship. I know we trying to figure out ways to be creative to bring in extra streams of income. And far as entrepreneurship, just think it all the way through. Tamika and I had this conversation, I think it was yesterday or the day before, about our choices don't just, again, affect us, but they affect our mates. And I just want to read one quick statistic to kind of back up what I'm saying. It said that 90% of startup businesses fail. And I'm not saying this to discourage anybody, but in the army, when we go into battle, we got to know what we're up against, right? What are the odds, and what I need to put in place to increase the odds of being successful. But 90% of startups fail. 10% of those fail in the first year. So just put that in context. If I got 100, I'm looking at 100 businesses, 90 of them are doomed to fail based off statistics. So what do you do to being part of that 10%? And it's just understanding what your obstacles are, find out where your support system is. I've been in this thing about 3 years now, and I struggle and still have some challenges here and there. But Tamika, she's one of the greatest resources I've come across. So I just tell people, when it comes to entrepreneurship, don't be afraid, and don't let what I told you discourage you, but arm yourself with that wisdom and that understanding so that you put yourself in a better position to be successful.
Awesome sauce. Ivory.
I'm gonna flip a little bit. So I'm gonna choose career, but I'm going to say the ending of my career was the choice that I chose, that really kind of on my purpose. And I chose that. It was a big choice that I made, retiring from the military, and I wanted to walk in my purpose. And um, I still had bills. I still had I'm a single parent. I had my family that I still needed to take care of, but I was in alignment with God and I trusted Him, and I wanted to step out on faith. So that was a choice that was, I was nervous, I was scared, but I was ready, and it was the best decision that I made. But I didn't have a husband to consult with. I didn't have anyone to say, hey, don't do it, don't do it. I had 100% support. Even my kids supported me because they understood my purpose. So that was a choice that I loved, because that was my choice. Even coming to the military wasn't really a choice. I mean, it was a choice that I made. My career in the beginning was a choice that I made, but I was kind of like forced into that decision. But leaving was my decision. So it was a choice that I made that I'm happy about.
Awesome sauce. I'm going to tackle motherhood, and I want to talk to the moms out there, single moms, married moms, moms. Parenting, being a mom doesn't come with a rule book. If you don't know Jesus, have a baby and you'll get to know him. Now, I want to talk about mommy guilt and the fact that whether you are wealthy, married, single, white man, black man, Jew, or Gentile, at some point, there's going to be a little ounce of mommy guilt that may show up, whether it's, oh my gosh, he's sleeping. Why did I yell at him today? Whatever that thing may be. I want you to go, you have the power of choice. You can choose to apologize to your children when you need to. You can choose to read parenting books to see your children's personality types. You can choose to decide to understand your children's love language, but do something and do something different. You have the power of choice to make motherhood the best career that you have, or you don't. Make a choice. Understand you have the power of choice and choose to be an awesome mom. Listen, this has been some amazing dialogue on tonight. What I would love now is for each of you, we can start with Ivory, then Gerard, and then Tamika. When we talk about the power of choice, can you kind of give a summation, like your last home run hitter for someone who's listening and they need to understand the power of choice? Ivory?
The choice is yours. I mean, that's like a song. The choice is yours. The choice, the choice is yours. You know, that's what it is. It's the power of choice. Don't let anyone take that power from you. It is your power. If you don't want to do it, say no, and it's okay to say no. It is okay, and feel good about it. Feel good about it. Don't let nobody bully you into what you don't want to do. It's your choice, and I'm gonna leave it like that. It's your choice, and be happy about it.
Awesome sauce. Thank you, Ivory. Gerard.
Yeah, just two real quick points. One, the choice to work together. You know, we weren't meant to do this thing alone. You know, the old saying is there's strength in numbers, and I've experienced that and know that to be wholeheartedly true. So, you know it can get lonely, or we can get used to working on our own because it seems like we're not getting the support that we should be getting. But what I've learned too is that the support we need is right in front of our face, and we overlook it, trying to bring other people into the fold instead of the people that God have handpicked to walk this life with us. And the second one is the choice to serve. You know, I believe the good book when it says the greatest will be your servant. And I don't believe that there is any greatness minus or absent the heart to serve the people. So I'll just leave you with those 2 points there.
Awesome sauce. That was good. Tamika.
Listen, I'm sitting here and I'm taking this all in. Dr. Tavis, what was the question again? Because I'm listen, I'm all with you. So
I know it was juicy, right? I had to take my glasses off. What is your final piece of wisdom to leave with our audience on tonight?
So my final piece of wisdom, I know that we've been talking about choices, and a lot of tonight was about self-care and self-care being a verb. I would say have the power to say no. Choose your power to say no. Choose your power to be selfish when it comes to your self-care. Choose the power to be okay with not being there for everybody all the time, 24/7, because you are releasing all the energy that you have within yourself for you. So again, I would say choose the power of saying no and being okay with it. It's okay.
Wow, that was so awesome. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard from some of my amazing coaching colleagues and entrepreneur colleagues on today. I want to leave this with you. As a mom, as a full-time entrepreneur since 2012, as a woman of God, a pastor, and studying the brain, positive neuropsychology, I will tell you this: the power of choice is yours. Did you know that you have a reticular activating system where you can shift your mindset, change, make better choices, and then you'll start to attract what you desire? But the choice is yours. Tamika, I yield to you.
Thank you all so much. I appreciate all of you for being here. I appreciate your yes. I appreciate you for just saying, you know what, Tamika, I got you. Okay. I appreciate every last one of you for showing up tonight. I appreciate you for sharing. I appreciate you for engaging with us in comment and letting us know that what we are talking about is exactly what you needed to hear. I pray that everything that we've discussed tonight is exactly what you showed up for and more. Thank you so much. Make sure you connect with all of us. Get connected with us if you're not. Dr. Tavis Taylor, thank you so much for leading tonight's panel. Listen, y'all don't even know about the behind the scenes, but I thank you, Dr. Tavis, for leading tonight's panel. It was absolutely amazing. I couldn't have done anything and made that better in any kind of way. I just appreciate you for showing up the way you always do. Authentic, transparent, and letting us have it. Okay. Ivory Claire, thank you so much for this week. You have been my girl all week long, holding down some panel discussions, showing up, encouraging me, and just letting me know that what we are doing is absolutely what is needed. I appreciate you. Gerard, listen, bro, you my bro, okay? Gerard is family, y'all. So thank you for always being a listening ear on all of the things that I'm talking about when it comes to EnergizeHer, when it comes to all of the things that I want to do to empower more women and girls of color around the globe. So I appreciate you for your ear, your friendship, your laughter, all of it. And I appreciate you for showing up tonight and sharing a man's point of view with us on tonight's panel for Energizer Leadership Summit. So thank you all. Thank you all. It's been amazing. All right. So we out of here, y'all. We are out of here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This has been one amazing week for the Energizer Leadership Summit. I hope that you all will go back and catch the replay if you didn't watch something. If you want to catch it again, watch the replay. They'll be live. They're not going anywhere. But I just appreciate you for showing up for Energizer, showing up and allowing us to pour into you while you poured back into us during this week. So thank you to all of my speakers, all of my presenters. As a matter of fact, I'm going to call y'all out by name real quick just because I can. Listen, don't go away, y'all. Listen, I'm going to call all these women's and men's names out because I just appreciate every last one of them. So we started off Monday. Latasha Jimerson, thank you. Ivory Claire, again, thank you. Lantoinette Clark, Nicole Davis, Dr. Tavis Taylor, thank you. And our first gent on Monday was Antonio Mitchell. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your thoughts and how you are able to support women and your wife on our journey of transforming, on our journey of being energized. On Tuesday, Francis Futrell, thank you. Tina F. Foy, thank you. Candace Nicholas Lippman, the actress and poet who joined us all the way from LA. Thank you. I appreciate you for showing up. Miss Natisha Stitt came through and showed us on how to unveil our truth. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate each and every last one of you. On Wednesday, listen, it was jam-packed with good conversation. Carlika Bass Knight Menendez, Andres, Miss Cookie. Thank you so much for being here. Charmin Deloach, thank you. I appreciate you. And of course, our gent on Wednesday was Dr. Troy Carroll, who came through and talked to us about being intentional in what it is that we're doing. How are we intentional to unlearn some things so that way we can learn the right way of doing things? So I appreciate Dr. Troy Carroll for coming through and being one of our gents at the Energizer Leadership Summit. Last night, Veronica Burnett, oh my gosh, Tamika Lloyd, LaJune Singleton, Just Kim Stringer, okay, Miss Tamara C. Gooch, Dr. Stephanie Jones, Sunita Mitchell. Listen, it was jam-packed. If you didn't learn anything tonight, go back and watch all 5 days again, because I promise you, you missed out on a good thing. And I appreciate every last one of you all for being here. And then tonight, we kicked the finale off with Dr. Shaniqua Johnson, who came through and talked to us about the power of choice, self-care or success. We had Simone Walton, who came through and talked to us about being pretty healed. We then had our panel on My Mental Wellness Matters with Ivory Claire and Alicia Siv. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for authentically and transparently sharing. We had Miss Anisha Nelson, RN, who came through and shut it down with Nurture Her, the journey of self-care. Thank you, Anisha. I appreciate you. I totally and honestly appreciate every one of you for showing up and being here. And of course, we close it out with Ivory Claire, myself, Dr. Tavis Taylor, and Gerard Ware. Listen, this has been one great night. This has been one great week, and I appreciate each and every last one of you for showing up. I appreciate you for engaging with us, and I want to see more of you. Listen, Energizer is just getting started. I feel like this is January 2024 because we're on a road. We're not going anywhere, but I appreciate each of you for showing up. Please connect with EnergizeHer at EnergizeHer across all socials. Connect with all of our amazing presenters. Their socials are shared all over my posts, my social profiles. So make sure you engage with all of them, connect with all of them. And if you register to attend this week's summit, each of you will be getting an email with all of the amazing freebies and downloads from all of our amazing presenters. So again, thank you. I appreciate you. Energizer appreciates you. And again, our job, our mission is to help you learn to love the life you live right now. And I hope that's exactly what you did this week. So thank you all. I appreciate you all. You all have an amazing, energized weekend. I heard that it's Memorial Day weekend. So if y'all having some cookouts, y'all send your girl a plate, okay? Y'all heard I'm still in the house, okay? So listen, y'all have a good evening. I love each and every last one of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. And again, thank you to all of our sponsors. We have Sis Means Business with Dr. Tavis Taylor, Mogul TV Global Network, Moshe with Gerard Ware, as well as the Leading Executive. Thank you to each and every last one of our sponsors who helped me to make this happen, to talk to the people, to reach the people. So y'all have a good night. Y'all have a good night. I'm out of here before I say some more.
Are you feeling stuck, overwhelmed, and unsure of your next move in life or business? Are you seeking a supportive community where you can receive daily inspiration, accountability, guidance, and coaching to help you thrive? Introducing EnergizeHer Mornings.
Are you listening? Damn.
The exclusive accountability community for driven women to experience empowerment and uplifting. EnergizeHer Mornings is the best accountability membership program hosted by founder Tamika Chapman, created specifically for women who are struggling with their first or next move in life and business.